This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace. Hello, everyone. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we're your hosts. I'm Alexis.
I'm Grace.
I just sped up the tone there.
You sped up and then slowed down.
Yeah. I'm unpredictable. AI can't imitate me.
Never know what I'm gonna do next. Fast or slow, fast or slow. Only time will tell.
Yes. So, anyway, we are all giddy and happy because we're in one of our favorite seasons here. It's the holiday season, the Christmas spirit and the winter wonderland things, all of that. So naturally, it being December, we are recording / airing only episodes of shows, classic animated shows that have to do with some sort of holiday theme or winter theme in one way or another. I went the last 2 weeks and Grace is up today to surprise us. I have no clue what episode she's doing. I told her right before we hit record. I don't know. I'm coming in blind and I can't
see what happens.
I know it's going to be great.
Do it like that. So, yes. Shucks. Well, yes. So today, as I said right before we start recording, we're just doing a little fun, lighthearted guy with a classic mid-'80s Scooby-Doo episode. Yay. A favorite of our show.
I knew I was in a good mood for a good reason.
Exactly. Scooby is always a reason to be in a good mood. It brings us joy, has for our whole lives, many generations, etc., etc. And this iteration, so there's lots of versions of Scooby-Doo throughout the years, is kind of a spin-off of a spin-off. So spin-off of the main show was the Scooby and Scrappy-Doo spin-off. And then after that kind of aired, they did kind of another spin-off of that called The New Scooby-Doo Mysteries, where, it's the same Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy are the main combo solving supernatural crimes on their own. But in this New Scooby-Doo's Mysteries iteration, Daphne joins them more often, and occasionally Fred and Velma show up. So it's a random resprinkling in the rest of the gang because they were we miss everyone. Let's put them in here and there. So this episode,
trying to figure out who's popular, who does the audience like, who don't they like, who
exactly. Who's landing with our audience here? Let's test them one at a time. And I will say,
they hate Velma. Okay, cool. We'll
take her out. Yeah, perfect excuse. And I will say, they probably were doing that. In the first couple seasons of Scooby-Doo and iterations, they really gave Daphne the short snap of just no personality, simply damsel in distress. And this episode and
danger-prone Daphne.
Yeah, putting her into the spotlight here, gave her the chance and time to shine. So, I think they were also figuring out, okay, where can we go with some of these characters? This was just a beta testing season, essentially. They never actually meant
to just running the numbers.
Yeah, they never meant to release the episodes on air. It was just to focus groups, and then they accidentally sent it to the wrong screener, and it got aired. Probably
it got aired. They're oh shit, that wasn't. They like it.
Well,
okay. Well, we'll keep messing around with it. Cool. That's what we meant to do.
Yes,
wonderful.
That was just how we plan things. This is how they plan things.
By pure happenstance. Careful planning and consideration all the time.
Obviously, yes, that is us.
Yes, and
kind of similar to that Scooby and Scrappy-Doo kind of first spinoff iteration. Most of the episodes, the full time slot, are split into 2 different episodes. So it's really, every 22-minute slot of the episode is split into a part A, which is 11 minutes, and part B, which is 11 minutes. So they're just again, short little sods to get through.
Nice. Cool.
This one is season 1, episode 7A. So it's the first part, and it's called Night of the Living Toys. Obviously, a fun play on Night of the Living.
Sounds like it could be creepy.
Dead. It It was creepy as fuck. We will get into why we will hate this episode, parts of this episode. And like, I will say, this is only very vaguely related to our cold crimes themes. I found this episode via Googling like Scooby-Doo winter holiday specials, and this came up on some of the lists, mainly because, funny enough, it like takes place in essentially like a toy workshop, like a la a Santa's workshop vibe, including like, you know, some elves running around is like the vibe, and like Santa's workshop-y type of thing. So I was like,
last week.
I was like,
or
this is, this counts. This is a thing. This is like Santa's workshop. I mean, also just like has the true spirit of Christmas of capitalism. So like, I decided to do this episode.
The main theme of Christmas. When you said the title, my mind immediately, I mean, maybe it's because we're doing our Christmas arc right now, but my mind immediately went to Christmas.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe,
the toys,
it's because
the workshop.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe it's because we just talked about Santa's workshop for 2 weeks, but like,
well, you know what? That works then. Like that exactly. Like that's what we planned it out that way. Like I would warm us up with talking about the workshop and the toys, so that then you could do an episode about toys, whether it's winter or not. Boom! Shut up, everyone listening, except like, subscribe, comment, whatever. But shut up! Tell your friends. Don't challenge us. This is no rules.
I will say, when you started talking about Santa's workshop in your episodes, I was like, phew, she's done the work for me.
Thank God. I did the heavy lifting. Man, my back hurts. Gosh.
Team, my back. You know what? It is on your back right now. Thank you. I appreciate it. You paved the path for me.
Coattails, girl.
Done. Oh yeah, those Christmas coattails. Yes, and I will and am. So,
very good.
Yes, we kick off with Scooby, Scrappy-Doo, Shaggy, and Daphne driving through the woods to the world's biggest toy workshop and toy store, aka, I'm going to go ahead and assume, Santa's workshop. But this toy store and workshop and warehouse, he's got to outsource a lot, I'm going to assume. Apparently,
he's got regional offices.
He's worldwide, baby. And this happens to be, for some reason, in the middle of Germany's Black Forest, which is a forest full of legends and folklore and mysticism, which is why I'm like, this all adds up. I'm like, this is absolutely Krampus lives, like, 364 days of the year, most likely.
Yes.
And you've likely, separately from Krampus and Christmas and, like Germanic, like, holiday vibes, which are always very precious. You've probably heard of the Black Forest, because it's said that is where the brothers Grimm were inspired for their stories. In the holiday spirit.
Also because of that. I was going to say, like Black Forest ham.
Black Forest cake. Germany knows how to produce some delicious things and terrifying things.
And terrifying tales. Yes, the brothers Grimm. I guess that is the most famous
dichotomy
yes.
of what exists in this forest. And yes, for those slightly unfamiliar, perhaps with the brothers Grimm, they wrote a bunch of, like, they basically took folklore and oral history from kind of the Germanic and surrounding traditions and turned them into the fairy tales we all know and love today, except their original versions were really fucked up, and Disney kind of, put a nice little spin on it so they could, make it a little nicer. But it was stories like Hansel and Gretel and Rapunzel. For example, in Hansel and Gretel, Gretel is made a slave to the witch as she fattens up her brother, or the witch fattens up the brother. And then it ends with Gretel pushing the witch into the oven to burn alive in the story. So, cute little kid stuff to, like,
it's
I don't know what the message is there, but like, don't take candy from a stranger, I guess. Night night. And the Black Forest is filled with other magical elements and folklore tales, such as a headless horseman riding a white steed through the forest, a forest king kidnapping women to his underwater lair, and plenty of other mythical creatures like fairies and dwarves and elves, and also real life horrors such as mass family murders that took place that remain unsolved to this day. So, yes. Scary place for Santa's workshop. Again, maybe it's Krampus's workshop. We don't know.
They got it mixed up in the address book. Mystery Inc. did.
Exactly. Krampus was like, perfect. Send all those children's letters to me so I know who to steal, essentially.
Right.
And Scooby and Shaggy, of course, their like creepy radar is like going off as they drive through this forest. They're debating whether or not this is worth it. But Scrappy is interrupting them, being like, gentlemen, I have my Christmas wish list. How else am I going to get these presents unless I go to the store in person? He's very practical and make sure these presents are there. And we see him like going through this huge list of like all the toys he wants to like make sure this warehouse has for him this holiday season. It's like drum sets. It's, classic little toys galore.
Yeah.
But Daphne interrupts.
Like him.
All little things just like this Scrappy is. And Daphne, though, interrupts all of this, reminding them that before they get any of their presents, they are there for an actual reason beyond, again, gift shopping, which is to help out this toy store. Specifically, they've agreed to help figure out who is stealing the toy store's profits, which to me is simply confirming our personal theory that we've gone through in almost every Scooby-Doo episode, that usually Daphne Blake is only involved in a case for corporate espionage for the Blake family.
Yes.
And I would say this is the most obvious episode that this is the case here and now. This is why she's inserted herself into the little Scooby, Scrappy, Shaggy mystery solving team, because she caught wind of this, signed them all up for it.
She's like, hey, I need the mystery machine. I'm going to come with you guys to
Don't you want to see
Germany
what gifts you want for Christmas? With Santa Claus Blake
like,
making sure.
He's in on like Bluetooth headphone. Like, yep, I got it. I'm in. All right, bye.
Exactly. She like this whole, she's fully fucking wired. She's probably put wires in like Scooby and Scrappy's collars. She was like, I got you guys new collars, an early gift, Christmas present. And they're like, is there buzzing? And she's like, no, there must be a fly in your ear.
Like has a red light flashing from it from like a camera.
Like a little body cam on like the actual collar. She's like, no, really
direct feed back to Blake Incorporated.
She's like, you guys just really need to poke around of all of the Christmas toys you want. Really pick all of them up, move them around. Hold them about this height when you look at them, though. Not too close, not too far.
You don't need to look at them in the eye. Put them like neck level is like probably a good way to assess. I think that should be good.
Like arm's length. Really make sure they're in focus, if you will.
Yes.
It's to really gauge what you want for Christmas. And so they pull up to this Black Forest toy shop, which indeed is simply what it's called. They go in, they find it. It's both a warehouse, mainly a warehouse, actually, where all of the toys are made. It's filled with trains and little toy trucks and dolls, stuffed animals and puppets, and kind of like everything you would dream a toy store and like warehouse to be. It is filled to the brim with all of that, including, which is something I would not want my toy store filled with, like these full-sized mechanical elves who are exactly like fully like like hammering a like toy truck, like as if they're building it, like all in unison and shit. They've got elf hats. They've got rosy cheeks. They're all dressed in green. Like it's giving full like Santa's workshop vibes.
Is this place open? Like, are there other customers in there? Is it just Mystery Inc.?
There's currently
I mean, I guess it's
other
open, but is it like
customers.
busy?
No. There's currently
Okay.
no one else there. It is in the middle of the Black Forest, which does make me again
Yeah.
think like this is a workshop situation. Because at first, I was like, is this like for show, like Disneyland? Like it's a small world after all when the kids come in.
Yeah.
It's in the middle of the woods though. Like it's not, is this a toy someone wants? It's not clear,
Right.
but like,
I have so many questions. But
but like your
the reason
reaction
I ask is because they tend to go places when they're not open. Are they just like wandering around the halls with these creepy toys all by themselves?
No. I will say they are greeted by the shop owner. He was expecting them. This wasn't fully like Daphne just was watching the corporate profits and being like, this one's dropping, something's going down.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, exactly. Like, let me go investigate and really, see the end to this monopoly,
get to the bottom,
perhaps. Yeah. But no, we see that the shop owner, his name is Dreisbach, comes to greet them at the door. Yeah, that's all real German names happening here. They were like, we are in Germany. They've
immersion.
all got slight German
really
accents.
Make it real.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so Ed Dreisbach is an older German man. He's balding. He's got an apron. He clearly, and again, like he's there to greet them. He was expecting Daphne. He introduces himself to her and says hello, but then looks over to the literal 2 dogs and gangly guy she brought with her, who immediately jumped on a giant train and crashed it and says, "Who are these people?"
And Daphne, I understand that you're here to investigate why my corporate profits are low. Well, now they're even lower because that's an expensive ass toy they just broke. God,
and again,
who the hell are these animals, including Shaggy?
All 3 of them. All 3. And this, I also think, like, again, it gives way more to like the espionage of Daphne, of like, she knows she can't get there and get her hands dirty. She's there to quote unquote help, but she knows the 3 of them on their own will help ruin this business. Like, she doesn't need to even suggest it to them. Their utter pure chaos will lead to destruction simply from their presence.
Right. Like they'll break a lot of shit.
Yeah, exactly. And like at this, Daphne, like she kind of just like smiles like very painfully and says, "They're my associates." So again, this bitch there on business.
Yes, she is.
And like distancing herself a little bit there too.
Associates, not friends, just associates.
Yeah, not colleagues, not fully employed or anything.
Not companions.
Not companions. Simply associates. Ask no more questions. And
yes, it's like the least friendly but like still connected way you can describe someone.
Cold crime.
Yeah, cold crime right
cold-hearted right now.
All these years, Daphne, and that's all we are. Fuck you.
Yeah, she's like, they left Mr. Inc. to do their own thing. Fuck these guys. Associates. But Dreisbach is like, oh, that's good enough for me. He brings them all upstairs. Yeah, he's like, oh, whatever. Miss Blake is here. That is who I called.
Yes.
She's got to do whatever she has to do. So he brings them all upstairs to kind of like his office that he has to explain what's been going on. And to help explain what's going on is one of his employees, this man named Sigmund. He's wearing just a straight apron. He clearly looks annoyed that like these people are there interrupting his work during clearly the busiest time of year right now. They're going full speed of trying to make these toys while also obviously trying to keep a business open.
Stressful.
So, a lot to manage here. And in the corporate offices kind of thing upstairs, we see a portrait. Scooby-Doo loves a grand portrait of Dreisbach's great-grandfather who founded this toy store, Santa Claus. Just
I was gonna
kidding.
say Santa
But it would have
Claus.
been funny.
No, Saint Nicholas, actually.
Oh yes, I'm sorry.
Yes.
And
Nicholas
in
Dreisbach.
yes, to Sir Nicholas Dreisbach, Herr Nicholas Dreisbach.
Yes.
And Fräulein Mrs. Claus. Fräulein Claus. We don't know her first name.
Mrs.
Yeah.
Fräulein Mrs. Claus.
That's her government name, Mrs.
Yeah.
And this portrait, yes, is surrounded in a very ornate golden frame. At the bottom of it, there's a quote engraved, and Dreisbach explains to everyone that this is the quote that my great-grandfather, his life motto, what he lived by. And like, let me tell you, mottos are supposed to be like short, snappy, rememberable.
Yeah.
Maybe not in Germany. This life motto is treasure your foundations, for its bricks will build your future. Like, I'm not sure. It's not that catchy. The words are a little too big.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Snappy.
No.
I don't know if it's being like, remember
like
where
a
you came
proverb than a
from.
motto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
but remember where you came from it says the same thing, but it's snappier, gets to the point. A
lot shorter.
It grabs the audience's attention.
Keeps the people wanting more. He gave too much in this motto. You got to leave a little hanging. Quick, straight to the point. Great grandpappy Claus Dreisbach was not snappy.
He wasn't with it. No.
No. And as the gang, reads this out loud, Sigmund, again, the employee, like scoffs at this, and Dreisbach kind of like shrugs and is like, yeah, I mean, like, it's a pretty dramatic
it's
quote.
not the best motto, I know, but
and like, build your future. Like, I don't really have a future if my money doesn't stop disappearing from our vault. So, like, we see the irony here. Sigmund is clearly pointed out to us. And with that, Dreisbach swings the portrait away from the wall to reveal his safe that's simply embedded into the office wall here. He spins in his little code and opens it up to show kind of a mostly empty safe at this point. It's got some cash in it still. It's got some, gold coins. It has some toys in it that are clearly of like sentimental value or something. It's like a robot in there, like, a little toy mechanical robot thing. Yeah, he's just like, I don't know, maybe some like original toys or some shit. Or it's just like,
sure,
we're a toy shop. Exactly. Yeah, the collector's items are in here.
We're a toy shop. Like, these are some of the things we've sold over the years.
Yeah, he's like,
nothing special, just,
Miss Blake, I'm actually opening this vault to show you the collector's items. I believe these are more in your price range if you have any buyers. We're in desperate need. We can cut down the price for you all. David calls Softbees. It's
Daphne's
the first
so
toy
confused.
robot.
Like, what? Softbees?
Collector's item.
They would love something like this, right? I know you've got connections there.
Exactly. He's desperate here. He's like, Mr. Claus signed this one. It's a Santa original.
But like, it's actually just his father that signed it.
Exactly. It's just him who signed it. As Dreisbach, so he's not wrong. A Dreisbach signed it.
Like, yes, Santa signed it.
Yeah. Don't look further. Don't chemically test this ink to see when this pen was created, like most auction houses will do to authenticate things. No, it's fine. It's cool. Daphne, please. No. So Sigmund scoffs at this again. He's clearly not having a good time. And he basically cuts Dreisbach off and is like, tell them the truth about what's been happening here. This has all been a revenge plot against you, Dreisbach, and your damn family. And, of course, the gang is like, a revenge plot. And this just got juicier. Yeah. Yes. Daphne, again, is in her Bluetooth, like, looking to enemies of Dreisbach.
Got it.
Yeah. Who has it out for this old man? But Sigmund is like, no. It's not some corporate revenge plot. Rather, it is the plot from a mystical beast of the Black Forest. Specifically, one of the old elf kings who used to rule in the Black Forest, because his great-grandfather did what all good corporate monopolies do. He built the toy shop upon the evil elf king's castle and lands. And now the elf king has returned from the grave to reclaim his throne.
Yikes.
Big yikes.
All right. That's a problem.
Yeah, this is like a pretty wild accusation.
Yeah, first of all.
Like, sir, where is your proof on all of this? Like,
do you have
unclear?
Like, do you have the land grant from before? Can we see any mapping or anything of what this castle looked like?
Where this territory was?
Yeah.
Like, where were
any
the
research,
schematics?
background research on the elves?
Yeah.
The elf king.
Yeah, like how do we know the elf king's evil? Because like he could just be, a righteous cause in reclaiming his land. Like,
sir, you may be the villain. Has this ever crossed your mind?
Right, like, sir, you're pointing a lot of fingers with no evidence yet.
No evidence. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, sir. Okay.
And also, like, the lack of evidence is not evidence, sir. Because if you're just like, well, they're magical.
Yes, exactly.
Sir, it's not what we're here to do.
This is all hearsay.
That's exactly what the undercover arm of Boyk Industries is telling Daphne in the ear. Like,
yeah, they're like whispering in her ear.
Lack of evidence, not evidence. Keep digging.
Yeah.
But before anyone in the gang can be like, excuse me, sir, what? Another shop employee comes in. Her name is Katrina. And she's an older woman who like literally just looks like Mrs. Claus. She's got like a cute little like pink or red dress on with an apron. Like, I think she has like the glasses on the edge of her nose, like a little frumpy looking. And
doesn't sound like a Katrina.
I know. And you're like,
not gonna lie.
Katrina.
Okay.
Katrina
I guess
Claus.
Katrinas get old at some point.
This is K Claus.
Maybe that's okay. We're calling it now. That's Mrs. Claus's first name because that works so well. Katrina Claus. What's up?
I'm Miss Katrina Claus.
Fräulein Katrina Claus. Yeah.
Exactly. The Fräulein. And we immediately learn that Katrina Claus here works in the toy shop making the stuffed animals. And we learn this because she sees Scrappy-Doo and immediately is just full of glee at this adorable little puppy, which Scrappy fucking hates being what he thinks, is patronizing, being called cute.
Yeah.
Fräulein Katrina, she don't give a fuck. She scoops him right up into her arms. She's pinching his little cheeks and nuzzling him.
No.
She starts putting little bows all over him, talking about just what a cute puppy you are, and is just in love with this puppy. Of course, Scrappy is like ripping all the bows out and also getting ready to throw fists at this like little old lady.
Glasses on the edge of her nose, old lady, like, oh, what was that cute little puppy? Punches her in the face. Look out of my face with that shit. Puppy power. Damn it.
Puppy power. Yeah, exactly.
He's so annoying.
Yeah, he's ready to throw down. Like, sir, you are adorable puppy. Use it to your advantage right here.
Yes, get over it. Exactly.
He cannot put his ego aside, even for an adorable little old lady. But, after she eventually puts Scrappy down, it's just like, oh, you cute little puppy does want to be held. Okay. And like, he, is still like, oh, let me at her. She adds in to the conversation between these employees here, telling the gang what's been going on, and kind of offhandedly makes a comment that like, if only they had also the riches from the elf king, that they would be saved right now. And Dreisbach, again, seeing the confusion on the gang's face, explains that, of course it was an elf king. So of course he is rich as fuck. So of course there's all the stories of the treasure being there somewhere that apparently his grandfather had found. But of course, Dreisbach and his, no one's been able to find it since. His boys haven't been able to find it. His father never found it, et cetera, et cetera. But, that'd be real freaking nice if they had it. It would save them. Because at the rate that things are currently going, he explains, it's most likely that he's going to have to sell his workshop to the competing Forest Toy Company, who has already come knocking on the door.
Daphne's like, all right, we got it. We got the angle. See all of her analysts typing and shit, competing company. Got it. All right.
Yeah.
How do we
Who's Forest Toy Company? Yeah. What's their offer? What's their
we need to buy them. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
how much can we outbid? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're immediately looking into the CEO, which is probably some other cute little grandmother and grandfather, ma and pa, old German couple, making whittling
how many kids
wooden toys. How many heirs they have to this other monopoly, possibly. Do they have a contract with the North Pole? That's what the Blake Industries are after.
That's the number one objective of all of this. We need to steal the North Pole's contract, or scoop up all the North Pole contractors.
Exactly.
This is our season, damn it.
Once we take away the contractors, then we take away the big man itself, and we become Santa Claus.
We are Santa.
Exactly. We are backed by Big Coal, as we learned in our last episodes, the Powerpuff Girls. Thus, we have the cash to become Santa.
We heard there's a commune in the North Pole. We need to get rid of that shit.
We're gonna take it down.
Turn it into a for-profit industry.
Exactly. Which, were they successful? Seems like it.
Sounds like it.
But we can wildly speculate about that at the end.
Which we will.
Which obviously we already have begun. We cannot stop now.
Yes.
And yes, he says the Forest Toy Company has already come knocking on their door to buy them out. Again, that's why you say that. Literally, my next line is, quote, and Daphne is telegramming this shit over to Blake Industries because she sees an opportunity here and someone else is swooping in on the competition to take over Christmas. So, you read my mind.
Some poor MBA intern or something is printing all these files. Okay, I'm putting
right. It's
together
the
now.
80s.
Handing them off. Yeah.
Typewriters. Going door to door.
Yeah.
Going to the stock market floor, asking around, trying to crash industries.
And all the chaos. Yeah.
Exactly. The one intern who also, took German in undergrad is on his way to Germany right now. Putting
on a plane,
lederhosen to go
reviewing
undercover.
All these files.
One of them is putting on a Krampus outfit to go undercover at the Christmas festival.
You imagine them just standing in the crowd, in those
just
outfits.
Lurking.
Just standing there looking.
Just watching the Krampus costume.
The man in the grassy knoll or something. Looking super creepy and sketchy.
So
as a parade goes by. I know. Shit just got dark.
Yeah, again, in the full Krampus costume, just staring on the hill. That's how the legend of Krampus gets burned into these small German children's souls. Is they're if we were at the Christmas parade and then we looked on the hill, as there was Krampus,
just was static,
unblinking. He also
watching
had a camera,
waiting.
Why was he taking so many photos?
And a typewriter. He looked at a typewriter typing notes.
Surrounded by men with the briefcases? We're not sure. So, any good paranormal and mythical investigators, going to what you slightly said earlier, the gang decides to stay overnight in this toy warehouse to investigate the series of thefts. Which, excuse me, absolutely not. You could not, when I was a kid, I was I would love to get locked into, like the mall overnight. Cause how fun would that be running around and like jumping on the
Right.
mattresses at like Sleep Number or like the zoo or the
Yeah.
aquarium? Like I could look at all these cool
Yes.
animals. We'd become best friends. When it comes to toys, like maybe the Beanie Baby store, could be
Yeah.
fun. Like the Lego store. But like
Yes, Lego store would be fun.
anything that has within it puppets, robots, marionettes, dolls. If there is any type of doll in there, I am out.
I'm out.
Even lights on in that store.
I've never been in there. Yeah.
I'm window shopping and I'm not taking a second glance at that window. I am on to the next store. I'm on to the next patch of woods in this Black Forest. I'm to the witch's lair where Hansel and Gretel are about to be eaten. I'm not stopping for these dolls.
Like, this is better than the dolls.
Let me turn the oven on, actually, to a solid 450.
Yeah, let me help you.
Yeah, I will crawl right in there. Keep me away from dolls. And, of course, making it even worse, they decide to split up immediately to investigate this. So, like, you can't teach some dogs new tricks, an old dog new tricks. They're gonna split up no matter what.
How do they split up in this series? Is it, or I guess in this episode, is it like Daphne and Scrappy?
Yep, exactly.
Okay,
yeah. Daphne and Scrappy, Shaggy and Scooby, which that's a very good question because Scooby and Shaggy, they're not here for a corporate takeover. They're here to check out their toys for their Christmas list. So they just immediately start playing with toys. Like,
great. Okay.
As soon as Daphne and Scrappy are around the corner, they're messing with shit.
And play.
Right. Like, as soon as they probably even turn around, they're like, 1, 2, 3, go. And they're not quiet, obviously, about any of this.
Right.
And they immediately start playing with one of our, you know what? I'm going to wildly speculate here. One of our, I would assume, top 3 least favorite toys. After, as we just discussed, dolls. After, as we've discussed in a previous Amazing Chan episode, ventriloquist dummies we hate. Probably third on that list is marionettes.
Yes, no. I feel like,
just controlled by strings, just always like the mouths kind of flop around.
The big eyes always staring at you.
Unblinking, terrifying eyes. The heads are always wobbly as everything else moves. It's all... They're in the same category for me. Especially, I feel like for me, even like ventriloquist dummies and marionettes are on a very similar. I think it's the like someone else has to be controlling them. Yeah. Even though obviously to play with dolls you have to be, it's just like a much more like, I don't know.
They just
they're doing this on their own facade.
Yeah, like I don't want to believe that. Ew, no, you're controlling it. Ew.
Yeah. Like, let me just see you play. It's fine. It's just something
they
weird
just look
creepy about
too.
them.
It's kind of like clowns too. Just like, why do they gotta have all the like the face like paint and the eyes? It's in the thing that's just creepy.
And like wooden ones also just immediately I'm like, there's a demon in there without a doubt.
Like, so there's a demon in there.
Yes. Is it a wooden marionette? It is possessed.
It's possessed.
Like 1000%. I don't know by whom. I'm not going to stay to find out.
I blame this on Goosebumps, quite frankly.
Probably.
Like they had the Night of the Living Dummy episodes, and dude, I'm telling you, those fucked me up as a kid, and the book too. Like, this
is just absolutely where this comes from.
Our whole generation is probably afraid of those because of that. Like, thanks, R.L. Stein. Fuck you. Yeah, actually, no, thank you. Because what's the hype? I don't get the hype anyway. You know, I'd rather
clearly effective. Like, you done good because you fucked all of us up for this exact reason. He single-handedly destroyed the ventriloquist and marionette industry.
Yeah, they're like boycotting him.
Exactly. To this day, those like Forest Toy Company ma and pa woodworkers are like, the industry will make a comeback. We just know it.
Come back. But then like they keep rebooting different like Goosebumps stuff.
Exactly,
So
like
every
they are
time
right
they do, like I
now.
think they just did, yes.
Yeah, it's like about to come out.
People in Germany like throwing their hands up, like, God damn it, not again.
Not again.
Yeah, not again.
Every
Here we
time.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so mad. Also, I
Yes.
really like that sometimes our German accents are just French accents.
Yeah,
Like,
I think so. A little
you
bit
know
like
what?
Italian, French. Yours is much better than mine because you've got more exposure. But
Here's the thing. Technically, part of my family comes from like Strasbourg, which is on the French-German border. So I'm just gonna blame it on that. That
yeah,
like
exactly.
it bounced back and forth of what country it
Right.
was in for a very long time. So like that's what
Fair.
I'm gonna stick to it. That's my
Yeah.
excuse forever.
Your German accent is a very specific Strasbourg accent. And you would do that on purpose, actually.
No one from Strasbourg is
cultured.
gonna ever let me in now when I go to visit, which I was planning to do before COVID happened. LOL. They will never let me in now with that claim. I'm also again going to use this for like, am I trying an Australian accent and it's bad? Sorry, my family's from Strasbourg. Am I trying a, Canadian accent and it's bad? Sorry,
Strasbourg.
I also my family is French Canadian too, so I'm gonna blame
true.
everything on these two roots of mine.
Yes,
that's Russian accent. Sorry, French
Strasbourg.
German border. What do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you.
Irish, same answer. So of course, yes, Shaggy and Scooby, like fools, are playing with marionettes. What a horrible choice they've made immediately. Not only because they're creepy and terrifying, and these ones are like, again, full on like Santa's elves looking ones. They've got like the little like curled like shoes on,
booties.
the little elf hat and like tights and that kind of stuff. And of course, Shaggy and Scooby immediately get themselves like twisted and tied into the marionette strings because they're fucking around in the chaos. Of course, they break the toys and the marionettes go like flying across the room as Shaggy and Scooby get like fully wound up together in the strings.
Yeah.
And here we indeed confirm that these fall into our least favorite toys category, because as soon as these two elf marionettes hit the floor, they both dust themselves off from the fall.
No.
Look at each other, get up, and run out of the fucking room.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
I thought you were about to start singing the Totally Spies.
Here we go. I almost did, and then I was like, wrong.
It's always acceptable.
Here we go. Here we go. Except like the horror movie version of it.
Yes. Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, we hate it. Frankly, because yes, they get up and leave the room, and Shaggy and Scooby see all of this happen.
No merci.
Yes,
I don't know.
Like
I don't know. Thank you in German. Danke. Yeah. No, that's Russian.
Yeah.
No, danke.
No, it's German. Yeah.
Is it German? Oh, yeah. Sorry. Russians and Germans. Yeah.
And so, as Shaggy and Scooby are obviously shook at this moment and terrified, and also now trapped. Because
are they still tied up?
Yes. They're still tied up. I might also point out at this exact moment in time that they are specifically kind of in like the doll and puppet room, and so the walls are surrounded with like baby doll toys.
Ew.
Yeah, probably the like porcelain ones, which are again even just creepier. Is some full who's the like Paranormal Activity couple? What is the fuck? No, not Paranormal Activity.
Oh, from The Conjuring.
Those people. It's like that type of baby doll shit.
Yes.
Annabelle. That situation is happening back there, and I hate it.
God. Ugh, whatever.
I don't know. Hate it. So we actually now follow these two elves who run into another room where we now see what we thought was that giant mechanical elf from before, dressed in green, hitting that, toy truck,
Yeah.
is now standing, smiling as those small elves run into the room and says, "You have done well, my servants. I will take care of the two now."
So he's the ringleader. Hell no.
He's some elf king shit right there.
Yeah, he's the elf king. Ew. Yeah, I don't like this, Grace. I don't like this episode.
Your immediate reaction to when I was like, "There's a mechanical elf making a toy," and you were like, "No, there sure as fuck isn't."
No,
I was like,
"There isn't." You know why I said? Because we wouldn't see it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yep,
nope.
Exactly. You were like,
"There is not.
No hesitation. I'm kicking that toy over and leaving."
Like kick it over just
correct.
To leave. Destroy it just to get out of there.
You go in just to knock it over and leave. But then you would knock it over and you would hear someone be like, "Ow."
Ow. And then I would run even faster. Get in the van. We're leaving.
I would
drive
not
the
turn
van
around
through the store and knock everything out.
Was the ow because I accidentally kicked over this big toy onto a kid? I don't care. I'm gone.
Maybe. Yeah. It sucks for that kid. I heard an ow. I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
One, I don't want to be liable. And two, I don't want to be haunted by some like haunted demon doll or whatever, if it is real. Either way, you got to get out of there.
I heard an owl from a place that should not have been coming. I am now a ghost. Goodbye. So,
ow.
Yeah. So while that all is happening, while they're conferring with their ringleader king situation, Shaggy and Scooby, of course, like we said, are now rightfully freaking the fuck out. And the moment that they saw, these so-called elf marionettes come alive, they start fighting their way out of these strings that were like wrapped around them. And they do manage to wriggle their way out before the elves return. They manage to book it out of there. And much to the disappointment to the Elf King and the two elves, when they return to the room, Shaggy and Scooby are gone. So they grab a couple toys from the room and just decide to continue forward with their plan that night, and we'll just take care of the rest, aka Shaggy and Scooby, if they get in their way. So on Shaggy and Scooby's end, they run literally into Daphne and Scrappy because, again, they are fully on our page, which is, this is above our page.
GTFO.
Yeah, goodbye. We are out. We will find our Christmas toys somewhere else.
Yeah, like outside of a haunted forest, perhaps.
Right. We're not even going to that other forest toy company. Like we are just leaving this country. We're
leaving.
We out. So as they run into them, they knock over some shit and it sends some like papers and toys scattered everywhere. And among all of the papers that are now flying everywhere, because they kind of ran into like a desk or something, Daphne and Scrappy notice a piece of paper in particular that seems to have come from a lab. And specifically, these papers were the beginning results of running a mineral content test on, of all three things, bricks. So basically, it's like the start of some lab results on a set of bricks with some lab whose address is 123 Forest Lane. Real creative.
No one wants to go into the Black Forest to like figure out how to name the streets there or the roads. They're like, just call it Forest Lane. That's the best we can do.
So confusing in there. Forest Way, Forest Ridge, Forest Lane,
Forest Boulevard.
It's so lost in there.
It's a toughie.
Yes. And like they tuck this away for later because at the moment they, like you, have no idea what this means. Like, was it testing on like a new toy, like a set of like Lego bricks
made of bricks?
Was it like a competitor's toy? Was it paperwork from like someone's house inspection?
Construction. Either way, Daphne clocks it in with the analyst back at Blake Incorporated.
My next line is, quote, "They don't know, but Blake Industries probably wants that mineral composition anyways."
Yes.
Yeah, she's like holding it in front of Scrappy's like collar to be like, "Scrappy, can you read this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can see it fine. Why are you moving it?
Stop moving it.
Stop moving it." And the people in her ears are like, "No, not in focus. forward. No, too close. Too
Look,
close. Back it up. Back
there.
it. Okay,
Stop.
Yeah, got it. We clocked it. Okay, great.
Got it. All right, great. Thanks.
They're like looking into like all patents for like who could have created these chemicals.
Yes.
They're like, is this from Lego, the German Lego monopoly? We're taking them down next.
We're taking them over. Yeah.
Yes. But Scooby and Scrappy, after they get themselves up from knocking everything over, also make them tuck away this paper for now because they're like, hey, E.T. Dubs, these marionettes are absolutely alive. We don't know what the fuck else is alive in this place. This is absolutely haunted by some Elf King shit. Like, we gotta go.
Daphne's like,
obviously.
Shaggy, how much weed did you smoke before we got here?
She's like, Shaggy, I know we're in Europe and we stopped in Amsterdam on the way. Yeah. How many brownies did you pack into your suitcase? Right. Sir.
Ease off, buddy. And you gave him to Scooby too? What the hell?
Like, come on, bro. He's a dog. Yeah. Which, funny you should say that exact thing.
Oh, no.
Because, of course, she's like, okay, well, we need to go split up because obviously our culprits are in the building. Shaggy and Scooby, you take downstairs, which is like where most of the manufacturing takes place. For the workshop, of course, they do not want to go. But why I say it's funny you say that is because, of course, she whips out some Scooby snacks.
Yes.
Which, aka their munchies.
Yes.
But as she's standing at the top of the stairs to the basement, the Scooby snacks like slip out of her hand and they like tumble down into the basement.
Damn it, Daphne.
I know. You're like, God damn it, Daphne. Shaggy and Scooby are like, how dare you?
No, we'll lead them off the floor. That's fine.
They do run after them. And this is why I said earlier that like the writers gave Daphne some credit here because she, as soon as they dash down the stairs, she looks at Scrappy and winks and goes, oh no, they slipped from my hands. Scooby snacks down the stairs, oldest trick in the book, and then like goes on her way. And I was like,
go girl.
Yes, girl.
You go, girl.
We love to see it happen. So Daphne and Scrappy head up to the office where they were earlier, right as the Elf King and his servants are arriving and opening the portrait to the safe. They, Daphne and Scrappy, stop in the doorway and kind of pink around the corner to watch this happen. And we see the Elf King kind of fumble around for a second and then say, it's also really funny to call him the Elf King because he just looks like a giant, like Santa's workshop elf. He doesn't have like a crown or anything. He's just like, he literally looks like Will Ferrell as
like elf. Okay,
like,
elf. Like a human-sized elf. Yeah,
yes, exactly. Like in that literal green outfit is like what you should be picturing this whole time. So, but they just call it the Elf King. So like,
okay.
Whatever
you want to believe, sir.
Yes. And so the Elf King is like fumbling around and then stops and says, I command you to open the safe. And indeed, at that, the safe door swings open. And we see that inside, the toy robot that was in there before has not only pushed open the safe door, but is actively handing them bags of cash from the safe.
Dang. Okay. Well, that explains a lot of things. I mean, it raises more questions, but it does explain a few things too.
Yeah, you're like some questions were answered and more questions were created.
Yes. Yes. It's a win-lose situation.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we don't answer probably any of those questions because immediately the trio of those elves and now that robot dash out of the office through a back door. Again, trying to GTFO. They got their loot. No one else is getting in their way. They're not going to stop and, take care of the witnesses. They've got a plan and they are executing it.
Yes.
So as they leave, Daphne and Scrappy obviously rush into the room to investigate the portrait here. They're not perhaps dusting for prints or anything like that. They're just kind of poking around. Again, I like to think Daphne is holding up Scrappy with now the camera and like
just walking around with it.
Like body cam level, and her investigators are the ones clocking and like FBI, CIA, like zooming in.
Yeah, like, all right, take 3 steps to your right, Daphne. No, you're right. Okay, good.
Okay, 2 feet
20
up,
degrees to
2
the
feet
west.
down.
Turn 20 degrees to the west. Good. All right. Yeah.
We're in Scrappy the whole time. He's like, let me at
Let
him.
me
Let
at
me
him.
power.
Yeah.
And they're like, please hold his hands down. They keep getting in the way of the shots, Daphne.
Yeah.
Miss Blake, please focus.
Miss Blake, please.
He's
Hold him
wriggling
a little
around too
higher.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's just there clocking, figuring all that out. But meanwhile, in the basement, again, Shaggy and Scooby are like, we were here for our presents. Obviously, now we are terrified and we don't want any of these haunted demon presents that clearly came from the Conjuring warehouse.
Yeah,
so
thank you.
Instead, they are just sitting on the ground eating their Scooby snacks without a care in the world. And like the little litter bugs that they are sometimes, when they finish the box, they just chuck the box around the corner, being like, well, hopefully they're done with the investigation and we can go home now. But as they do that, they hear a muffled scream from around the corner. So they kind of peek around the corner and, just see what they have possibly whacked in the head with their snack box. Yeah, our bad. And they see Sigmund, one of the employees of the toy shop, ripping the box off of his head and yelling at them. Or like, what he says is pretty accurate, of being like, y'all aren't doing any detective work. You guys are sitting around and now attacking employees in the dark, which like is exactly what's happening.
Yes.
Like, there's no lie what Sigmund just said.
You guys are a massive liability.
Yeah. You guys are not doing anything. And now I'm actually suspicious of you guys. What are you doing here? Why are
Shaggy, are you the Elf King?
Yeah. Why are you attacking me now? I am going to report this immediately.
Yes.
But he does basically tell them, like, get out of here. Like, I am leaving before the Elf King gets me. You guys are maybe going to get me too, because clearly you just attacked me. Like, if we're all smart, we will all leave for the evening. And we see him storm out of the building. Okay. Now, for some reason, this evening has just been too much for Shaggy and Scooby. They didn't get their presents. Their presence turned around on them and were alive and obviously possessed demons.
Tried to attack them. Yeah.
Tried to attack them. Someone's now yelled at them. It's ruining their high, ruining their buzz a little bit here. So they sit down, take a load off. Not that they weren't just sitting and then stood up for 10 seconds, had to sit back down. But where they sit happens to be on a conveyor belt.
Of course.
And this is the warehouse workshop down here. They're a modern toy shop. And we see someone hit the on button for the conveyor belt. So, of course, the assembly line of toy making begins.
Yeah.
And, of course, Shaggy and Scooby get caught in all of this. And at the very end of the toy line, they get, like, yeeted into some giant boxes that immediately get wrapped and sealed, signed, sealed, delivered. And of course, they make a lot of noise as this is happening, alerting Scrappy and Daphne to come downstairs. Yeah, something is horribly wrong right now. Things are going poorly and not looking up. And like, for all we know, we're about to die in these boxes.
They're going to get even poorer in a second. Yeah.
When we run out of oxygen here very soon. So, yes, they go into the basement, Daphne and Scrappy. Luckily, they do hear the boxes making noises. And they actually go up to the boxes and notice that, yes, signed, sealed, and delivered, because there are already shipping labels on these boxes.
It's like, from the Elf King, 1, 2, 3 Forest Lane, or whatever it was called. Oh, no. Okay.
They are addressed to 123 Forest Lane, subject the Forest Toy Company.
Oh.
So Daphne and Scrappy are like, well, that sounds all quite familiar here. A lab, a toy company, like what exactly is going on?
Pieces are coming together.
But, yes, and probably running out of oxygen, though. Shaggy and Scooby really start fussing around in there in these boxes. So of course, Scrappy and Daphne are like, we can ponder on this in a minute. We should open these up.
Yeah,
Hopefully
Shaggy
it's
and
our
Scooby are like,
friends.
we don't care about who is getting these boxes. We don't want to
Yeah,
die.
we aren't bricks. Let us out of
Yes,
here.
please let us out.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
in like all of the fuss, basically Scrappy and Scooby go like flying out of the boxes. They just like slam into a wall. And it seems like the force of them slamming into a wall knocks a brick loose from this wall in the basement. But instead, they realize that there's simply like a brick missing from the wall, which like made me assume that Daphne was like, I don't know if we should buy this company. Like it's fucking falling apart at the foundations. Like it might not be worth our swooping in
It's
here.
as like the investment's not enough. Yeah.
Like let
The
this
juice
other
isn't worth the
company
squeeze.
buy them out, build them up, and then
Yeah.
we'll buy that company.
Exactly. They're gonna
Let them
go
do the
into the
fixer-upper.
hole. Exactly.
Yeah.
They're gonna go into the hole trying to fix this place up. They're losing a lot of money, so we'll just wait for them to fail themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll bail them out, not try and
Yes.
do a fixer-upper here.
Exactly.
But of course, like I said, this has been creating a lot of noise. And so, of course, the little, or I guess the big full-sized Elf King and his little minion servants come rushing into, let me say terrifyingly that, because there's like a bunch of other shipping boxes here in this basement, kind of near this wall. They're all addressed to 123 Forest Lane, the Forest Toy Company. The two little minions immediately take like towers of these boxes and push them all against Daphne and like push her up against a wall and just
which
like
we assume they're full of bricks too, right?
Exactly. They like pin her to a wall essentially, or like they're full of who fucking knows what, maybe other bodies. Like we don't know.
Yeah, there could be bodies.
It's unclear.
The previous investigators.
Exactly. This is Fred and Velma somewhere in here. And so, they just push Daphne against the wall.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah, big yikes. And so, though, using toys from around to the workshop down here, of course, a line of shenanigans ensue to free Daphne. Like Scrappy-Doo hops into a little model like propeller plane because he's so small, because he's a cute little puppy. And he hits the propeller and starts flying and like knocking other shit over,
destroying this place.
Destruction is how these three solve crimes.
Yes.
And you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it, because breaking things fixes the crimes for them. So like
exactly.
It works here entirely. They took that phrase and they were like, if it ain't broke, break it.
Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
And we meant that literally.
Yeah, exactly. So they knock a bunch of shit over. There's, a multi-person pileup, including taking out and knocking over due to sheer body force and weight. They knock over all the boxes. Daphne's able to get free. They're able to knock the Elf King down, which I assume gave him a brief concussion because he is just out on the ground. Like the king is like down for the count, with enough time for Daphne to crawl over the boxes and unmask them. So, as per usual in our Scooby-Doo episodes.
Shoot, that's right. Yeah.
Let me remind you of the characters, because we're going to have you guess who you think it might be. So there's really only three characters here. We've got Dreisbach, the owner, and then the two employees of the store, Sigmund and Katrina Claus. Who do you think it is?
I almost forgot about Katrina. I'm going to say it's Katrina, Dark Horse. Why not?
You know what? You're fucking right.
Oh, shit.
You knew from the start this old lady wasn't fucking named Katrina. You were like, no, Katrina's dark.
I don't
age.
trust her. No, they don't.
She'd be going by Kathy at this point, not
at that point,
Katrina.
not Katrina. Yeah,
no. There's no Oma named Katrina. No, I don't think so.
Not in this world. Wow.
Nope.
All right, explain, because I don't know why it's her. I just, like I said, I don't trust that bitch. So I think it's her. It's that old lady.
Never trust her. And you know what?
Yeah.
It's funny because like Scrappy immediately was like, I knew she was strange when she started to put ribbons on me. Like Scrappy clocked that bitch
Fair.
too.
Fair.
Yep. And so they obviously call the Dreisbach, the owner of the shop. They do call the cops. Daphne is probably calling like the New York Times to blow the cover off of this shit and like probably ruin the corporate name somewhere. Like she's immediately going for a smear campaign.
Exactly.
She was like, this bankruptcy still has to happen somehow. And Dreisbach is stunned about this betrayal by Katrina, if that even is her real name.
Yeah.
And Daphne and Scrappy explain the situation. So first of all, they rip off of one of the gloves that Katrina was wearing in her elf costume and reveal hidden like in her glove and kind of in her sleeve a remote control that controlled the robot inside the safe. So the robot was not another live elf, because at first that's what I thought, and I was like,
yeah,
how is it not dead?
I know.
No,
it's like suffocating in there.
Yeah. So that's how it was actually a robot, and she just programmed it and, used via remote control.
Okay. And the elves or the little other
You know what? Here's the thing. That shit is never explained. I think those are literally just her servants.
Okay.
Yep.
I think she actually just found little people and used them in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Stuffed them in there like, come on. And then they just got away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be a marionette. Cool. And they were like, excuse me, that is extremely offensive. Like, how dare you? And then she got out wads of cash and they were like, nothing's that offensive.
Never mind. Yeah, wait, I think that's a great idea. I love that idea.
Done. String me up, baby. Let's do this.
Oh my god. Wow. Okay.
Like, Mrs. Claus, make us some toys. So then she continues to explain that after they would take the cash via the robot, they would stuff the toy animals that Katrina would make with the cold hard cash. Because again, she was in charge of the stuffed animals. That's why they grabbed a couple when they left the room originally. Yeah. And we see Shaggy and Scooby hold up some teddy bears that are stuffed with cash. And then they would immediately ship all of these toys to the Forest Toy Company at 123 Forest Lane, which I like to imagine Daphne's Bluetooth is immediately going in. They've had enough time to look into Forest Toy Company, and they are now confirming that, like, yes, it is registered to one Fraulein Katrina Claus is her alias. Like, here is the full backstory.
They already have like reporters swooping in there,
exactly,
trying to break the story.
Exactly. Like their PR people are like breaking it loose about this shell company that like they're taking down right now. Like German press is like swarming this Black Forest.
Yes.
Once again, the one Ma and Pa shop actually in the Black Forest making marionettes is just throwing their wood cutting shit in the air.
Yeah.
Like, this is not again.
This time
we're about to make a comeback.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, exactly. So Dreisbach is like, Katrina, could you? And is like, also like, pause everyone. Like, this doesn't make any sense. You, Katrina, stole my money, like made a fake company.
Yeah.
Stole my money and then used that fake company to buy my company, but with the cash you stole from me.
Yeah.
You're using my money to buy me out. Like, this is an extremely like roundabout, convoluted, like, what is the purpose here? Like,
I mean,
just climb the ranks and become the next
that's
CEO.
what I was gonna say.
Like,
she could have, if she was nice, she could have just climbed and did her job actually, then she probably would have been in line like this,
right? If she wasn't like using this brain power to make this convoluted scheme, she could have used this brain power. There's 3 employees here. Like, she's had to beat out Sigmund. That was it.
Sigmund didn't seem like a nice guy. Like, he seemed perpetually like grumpy. Exactly. So just like show that you're good at making and selling toys, and then
Yes.
guess what? Like you're gonna own the company in a couple years. What's the
Done.
dude's name? Deuce. What's the
Dreisbach, he's old as
Dry
hell.
spot? I was
Like,
gonna say he sounds old. He's not gonna be here
doesn't
much
seem like he has any
longer.
heirs. Like, girl,
Yeah,
just read a
right.
little.
Yeah, or like that's a lot of work to do that. Like with all that work, you could have just started your own, like a real company, not a shell
Exactly.
company.
You know how to make these stuffed animals. Go make a
Yeah,
competitor and be better. Like,
yeah.
that's what you should have done this whole. You already created an LLC. Paperwork is
Yeah,
half the
that's like
battle.
exactly. That's like a third of the of what you got to do, and you know how to
Yeah,
make the toy. So there's another third. The
right.
last third is like just
Done.
now doing the thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's now just
go
beating
do
out
the
your
thing.
competitor who, like, once you
That's
leave, who's going to make the toys? You've already won. But
yeah,
instead, show this huge
very
roundabout
roundabout.
way.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right,
So
Katrina
Dreisbach
Claus.
is like, please tell me why. And Katrina, we usually actually don't get explanations why in
Yeah,
Scooby-Doo. It's like, what the fuck's
true.
happening? This clearly very bitter and mad as hell old lady
Okay.
laughs right in his face and says, she did all of this for the treasure, you fool. And Dreisbach is like,
Um,
take her away. Like, this bitch has gone senile. Like,
she's crazy.
there
Take her
was
away.
no treasure. Like, this was just a whole thing my family made up. Like, this is
Yeah.
just the Black Forest, like, urban legend situation. Like, if we had a fortune, like, my great grandfather would have told my grandfather about it. He
The
would have
business
told my
wouldn't be
father.
struggling.
Right. Like, my father would have told me, we would have not been in this pickle right now.
Yeah.
Like, there isn't one. But Miss Blake pipes in and says, actually, you're wrong. There is a treasure.
Mm.
Cut to down in the basement again.
Yeah.
Where
Brick.
we see Scrappy has a power washer.
Oh my God.
And Scooby,
It was in the mystery machine. They just bring them with them
you know what?
everywhere they
Truly,
go.
everything's in the mystery machine.
Yeah.
And Scooby is hooking it up to the main water line to turn it
Oh.
on. As Daphne explains to Dreisbach that actually your great grandfather's dumb life motto held all the clues this whole time. Quote, treasure your foundation and its bricks will build your future. So Scrappy turns on that power washer at full blast at the brick wall, the same one that had the brick missing, the same brick that someone at 123 Forest Lane had taken out to get the mineral contents tested.
Yeah.
To reveal that indeed this brick wall was just painted to be a brick wall.
Oh,
and we see the power washer washing away the paint to reveal, and this is just a fucking bonkers plan that this great grandfather, who was obviously crazy, had.
Yeah, I guess.
The entire foundation of the building is solid gold bars.
What the fuck?
This is some like not trusting the bank, putting it under your bed. Bullshit.
But like to a whole other level.
Extreme. And like, I'm like, okay, this is the 1980s, and this is this guy's great grandfather. It's like some 1800s brick building, like laying shit. Like, this grandfather built this place himself, so no one would know. You can't have the builders
in the middle of the forest.
Yeah, in the middle of the
allegedly
forest.
haunted, like enchanted forest where he knows no one will go.
Yeah, no one's gonna come knocking. He built it himself so he could take his time.
Creates a story about an evil elf king to like help keep people away.
Yes, exactly. And then is like, I will write one hint in a matter of like what, 7 or 8 words, hoping my heirs will be smart enough to know that yes, trust your foundation and it's
this
literal
whole place
bricks
is built of gold.
will build your future.
That's insane.
Yes. And then just paint over it and like
hope
for the best, I guess.
Like, what kind of paint do you use that lasts that long? Because I don't think is gold that easy to just paint over. I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
But also
generations of this.
But also a type of paint that just comes off by power washer too.
Yeah, but not like the
watercolor.
Test of 3 generations in time.
Yeah,
it's just watercolor. Yeah, it's like the easiest paint ever to remove, I guess.
Yeah.
And also has never chipped, ?
Right.
But also all it took was like one mad old lady to be like, this seems sus. Let me take it, send it to a lab.
Like knocks on it. Oh, that's gold.
Oh,
that's
I know when I fucking hear it, baby.
Yeah.
And so, yes, that was her whole plan, is that like basically she'd buy out the company so she would own the rights to the building. And thus she would own all the gold, quote unquote, legally, you know, a corporate buyout situation.
Daphne gets back on the, reverse that. We've got some good developments here. Yeah,
exactly. We're gonna need a lot more reason to bring this guy down.
Yeah,
like again, all of her like spies are like now putting on like more Krampus costumes to be like, I guess we're gonna haunt the shit out of him. Like that's our only next option.
You're gonna be the Elf King. You're gonna be the Krampus. You're gonna be the witch from Hansel and Gretel. You two are gonna be Hansel and Gretel. We're just gonna throw everything we've got at them.
They're like going through like the German population, all like Anastasia, being like, we need to find his like fake granddaughter to be the heir to his toy fortune. Who looks like him? Great. We have his entire backstory. We have his entire family tree and family line. We're going to make this orphan child memorize it, show up, say he's his like great granddaughter, his granddaughter. She's going to become the heir, inherit everything, and then we're going to take it out from underneath her. God damn it.
Simple as that. Easy, right? We all on board? Everyone good? You get the plan?
Daphne's putting on a wig in the mystery machine.
Like touching up her makeup. All right.
We're getting started. Here and there. Practicing her German accent. Her like, they're like in her ear telling her what to say in German.
Like to the tapes to translate. Yeah. She's like,
exactly.
Shaggy, shut up. I'm trying to learn German.
They're like, what? Don't worry about it. Go pick out your Christmas toys.
Yeah.
So there, everyone, we have, again, like always, the true meaning of Christmas right here in this toy workshop. Pure, unadulterated greed, capitalism, and gold, and the kingdom built on the back of someone else, like the Elf King. And the end.
The end. Well, the 3 wise men did indeed bring frankincense, myrrh, and gold. So it's always been about that gold on Christmas time. Let's be real. So
they cut out the part where sweet baby Jesus knocked over those 2 other fucking presents and was like,
he didn't want the frankincense and myrrh. What the fuck is that?
What do with that?
Give me the gold. Yeah, little baby Jesus knew what was up.
Because my parents, that gold though, baby.
Gold. I will take
what carat is that? He like gets out a little like
the magnifying glass thing. So, amazing. Great job. Great job.
Yes.
That was wild and convoluted, and I cannot wait to watch it to see. So she really was an old lady, though. She really was an old lady. She wasn't like pretending to be an old lady.
Nope. She was truly an old lady through and through.
Good for her. She seemed to be in good shape to be running around and shit. And
I mean, she's on her feet all day working in that warehouse. She's strong as hell. She's removing bricks in her free time.
Right.
She's strong as hell.
She's strong. She's lifting all that gold, lifting all those stuffed animals full of dollar bills, which I imagine were not plush, by the way. Like, you squeeze those things. It's like, this is not soft.
Yeah, I see you right through.
Does it feel like it has a wad of cash in it to you?
Ma'am, you're pretty bad at stuffing the toys. Like, you might get fired, but you're also so old that we just can't fire you. Like, that's how nice Dry Spot was.
Exactly.
And also why his company was failing.
Yes, he was too nice.
Yeah.
But wow, she really tried it. She tried it. Good for her, I guess.
You know what?
Yeah, damn.
Here's my actual wild speculation at the end.
Yes.
Is that this whole time, Sigmund was actually one of the Blake Industry agents. He got sent in and hinted towards Katrina that there was gold in the basement. Accidentally knocked loose perhaps one of the bricks so that they knew that she would get herself mixed up in this. They had done, a psych eval on her.
Yeah, they knew. They're like,
That
she has a criminal record. She would love to steal
she's gonna go down. Like Dreisbach hired her when she was a felon out of goodness of his heart, and they knew she was in line to become the heir. And they were like, no, we can't find. We've done so many paternity tests. He fathered no heirs.
Yeah.
She's next in line. We got to get someone else in there. We got to take her out somehow first. So this was Sigmund going in as an agent. Now he's next in line. For him, now he's the only person Dreisbach can trust. He's going to become the heir.
And then he'll be like, okay, now I'll sell it to Bright. Yep, I'll sell it to them now.
Exactly.
And then they'll give me a seat on the board of directors.
Exactly. He's fucking retiring to fucking Aruba any day now, baby. He's going to live his best life down in Cabo.
Yep. Man, Sigmund. Smart guy. Well done.
This is good.
Perhaps named after Sigmund Freud.
Exactly. We see him and Daphne shaking hands.
Yeah,
he's like taking out the earpiece and handing one back.
He's
to
not
her.
even German. Yeah, he immediately switches to an American accent. Well done, Mrs. Blake. The
thing is that he this whole time didn't have a German accent, but like the other two did. Like I think I did say at the top, like they all have German accents, but like he did throw me off for a second. I was like, is that supposed to be one? Like didn't really
and with like a super
it.
German name too.
Yeah, until I thought up like, oh, this wild speculation and being like, oh, that's why he didn't fully have one.
He was never German. Yeah. He's an American.
His name's
through and through. Not
John
even his real name's Simon, and they're just like, yeah, Simon. It's the German version, Sigmund. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, it's close enough. It's like you want a name that if someone says it, you'll still say it was.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like Simon,
right.
Sig. He was like, I got the first 3 letters. It's fine.
He wasn't a tried and tested spy, so they had to kind of go easy. They're like, we can't give you a whole new identity because you're just not ready. Yeah. Don't even try to worry about learning German. You did all the back leg research about this toy company, so we're just going to let you go in, but like please just respond to Sigmund, like promise us you'll do that
and just be a good employee. We'll come in at night, which is why he was there.
We'll send our best agent. Don't worry.
We'll lay all the Daphne. Traps to lead Katrina to this plot. You just go and be a good employee for Dreisbach to like you. That's all you got to do. That's all. Earnest trust. Be a little grumpy. He responds well to that.
He too is grumpy.
Be good. Yeah, never be late to work. Go above and beyond. Dedication.
Stay late. Exactly.
Yep. And he did.
Amazing. And it worked.
It's all working out for him in the end.
Because that company, by now, it belongs to the Blakes. That's for
exactly.
Sure. He did his job.
1,000,000%. Yeah, again. Sigmund/Simon, he's living the good life somewhere.
Oh my God.
He's down in Bali at his villa, living the dream.
He zooms into the board meetings now. Exactly. That's all he's got to do.
He took a couple of those bars of gold while he was down there.
Exactly.
The industries didn't have
they wouldn't notice. No.
So,
amazing.
Yes.
Great job.
Thank you very much. We will be back next week for some more cold crimes of many varieties.
Yes, indeed.
And between now and then, Alexis, who should our listeners and viewers tell about the show?
This week, you should tell a toy shop owner.
Lovely.
If you haven't already bought your Christmas gifts, which might be a little late. What is this? The third weekend of December at this point. So but just in case, if you're you got a couple more days, or no, you got a little over a week. So if you're like perhaps me and do a lot of your shopping in the last week before Christmas, then
relatable.
Tell one of those toy shop owners while you're there. Who should they tell?
Yes. I think with supporting local businesses like that, hopefully for your Christmas presents, you should specifically tell someone who is actually the toy maker specifically of, look, I know it's going to be scary. I know you're going to have to go in to the woodworker shop who makes marionettes and ventriloquists.
Suck it up.
I believe in you. I know you can do it. Again, maybe knock over a couple when you're there and make sure no noises, no one says ow. Right. It's not possessed. But tell that toy maker, because they're just sitting in there all day slaving away for probably no kickback, no reward for their hard work because of goosebumps essentially.
Literally.
And tell them listen to the show while they're working away whittling at those creepy toys.
There you go.
Yeah,
nice. And
excellent.
Just do it for us.
Yeah,
Be brave.
We believe in
strong.
you. Yeah,
you can do it, because we are not going to do it. So you do it.
Yeah, out there. So until next week.
Wonderful. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on, so just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.